Social media platforms are abuzz with various claims related to India's economic performance during the COVID-19 induced economic restrictions. When they get a moment's respite from dissecting the death of a popular Bollywood star, mainstream news media outlets also make claims about what is going on in the country, particularly vis-a-vis the gross domestic product or the GDP. On 31st August 2020, the Government of India released India's GDP estimates for the first quarter of the financial year 2020-21. This means that these are the estimates for April-June 2020. The government estimates that India's GDP growth rate came down by 23.9% compared to April-June 2019. Soon after the government released these estimates, we began to see comparisons of India's figures with other major economies on various platforms. A few of these said that India's GDP contracted the greatest in this quarter compared to other leading global economies. Others claim that the contraction in a few other countries was higher than that in India. But how valid are these claims? You will know by the end of this video. One of the main things to understand here is that different countries use different methods of reporting GDP growth rate. India uses a year-on-year method where the growth rate for a particular quarter of a financial year is compared with the growth rate reported for the same quarter in the previous financial year. We have seen the example already. The projection for April-June 2020 was compared with April-June 2019 to get the GDP growth estimate. France, Italy, China and Germany are some of the other major economies that use the year-on-year method. The United States of America uses an annualized method of calculation where the growth of contraction for the quarter is taken as a base. It is then assumed that the economy would continue to grow or contract at the same rate for the remaining quarters of the year. This total growth of contraction is considered the annualized GDP growth rate. So, according to this annualized reporting of GDP, the USA's economy contracted by 31.7% annually. Canada and Japan also use annualized figures for GDP reporting. The findings are that Canada's GDP fell by 38.7% and Japan's GDP contracted an annualized 27.8% for the same quarter. If we convert all countries' projections to year-on-year, of some of the major global economies, India seems to have performed the worst in April-June 2020 with a GDP contraction of 23.9%. This is when we take a year-on-year calculation into account. The United Kingdom contracted the most within the G7 countries and slightly better than India at 21.7% for the same quarter. Among the leading economies, only China has reported a positive GDP growth at 3.2%. The possible reasons for this are that the spread of the disease in China happened earlier than in the rest of the world, and as a result, the country opened up its economy sooner than others. Essentially, the mix-up in comparing various countries' GDPs has come from comparing year-on-year projections with quarter-on-quarter or annualized projections. So when you come across a social or news media claim on GDP figures, going a little deeper will help you figure out if the claim is valid or not. And in this case, unlike guessing what the CBI knows and doesn't know, actual facts and data will help you reach a solid conclusion.